Hello everyone and welcome back to another Wizard101 video. Now, I am really annoyed right now. First, I forgot that I had to record today, so I played a game for like 3 hours and then realized at 3 o'clock, which is my usual upload time, or release time, is, oh wait, I didn't record a video today. So I had to do that. So I record, I get about 3-4 minutes in the recording, which isn't that far to be admittedly, but I got about like 3-4 minutes into it, and then it turns out, for some reason, it was not picking up my microphone. I don't know why, but OBS just switched it so that my microphone was off. There we go. So I had to do that again, and then I need to wait for my water tank. I don't know if most of you probably haven't been around long enough to know this, but this water tank is my mortal enemy. It makes this really loud, annoying ticking sound. And there's a lot of times where, it picks it up on the microphone, so I have to pause. So I had to wait about 3 minutes then to start recording again. But whatever, we're here. Everything's fine now. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another Wizard101 video. Today, we are going to be doing the most forgettable places in Wizard101. Now, Phantom recorded this video, I think, about a week ago. But, we're all friends here. The Wiz community just takes ideas from each other. It's how we work. So I'm going to go over my most forgettable places. Now, I would like to say, I don't know if you guys know me, but I have like a near encyclopedic knowledge on most of the game, especially early game. So for me, it was literally impossible to pick any street in the first arc. And that's because I remember all of it. Like, I remember probably every quest in every street for the first 5 worlds. And that's because I've done it about 30 times. So I could not put anything there. I'm sure a lot of you will. So leave in the comments below what streets you thought were the most forgettable in the first 5 worlds. Because I'm sure that there's definitely some that people think are forgettable. I just can't put them here. But let's get started with the first one. Wigerdruffland in Grizzlheim. Now, for me, out of the 4 streets in Grizzlheim, this one was the most forgettable. Savershed Pass is, iconic, because it's the first street you do. And then I remember Merkholm Keep because of the fight at the end where you save Arvar Anderson and stuff. And then obviously Ravenscar is just so bad that it's burned into my memory. But Wigerdruffland is the one that's kind of like the odd one out. It's just not, in my opinion, it's not super memorable. I believe you're trying to find Ivar Anderson, and it turns out that there's this dude impersonating him, and you need to go into Frostholm. Stuff like that. You need to meet with a Grendel, find the Eye of Truth, whatever. I do remember it, but it's definitely the least memorable out of all of them. It's just kind of, in my opinion, it's the worst of the streets. It's boring, it's a bit longer, and it's just generally not as fun. There's also a tower with this wraith over here, Lothan Doombringer, and towers are really never fun, in my opinion. So, that's a thing. Personally, I just think it's one of the lesser of my favorite worlds. So let's go to the next street. All right, the next street on this list for me is Stormriven. Now, I'd like to say that I think I don't hate Stormriven. It's not, obviously it's not as bad as Crustacean Empire, but for me, Stormriven is just kind of forgettable. I think you fight some things here, and then you get betrayed by this guy, but that's all I can really tell you. This street, in my opinion, it's very long without teleporters, so you need to walk all the way from one side to the other, which is just painful. This guy gives a side quest that gives like 10k XP, so that's cool. Oh, it gives 16k, so that's cool. I know that because I do this side quest usually, but overall, ultimately, it's not a bad street. It's just very forgettable, in my opinion. I don't know if you guys will agree with me, but I just don't find this street that memorable. Same with Stormriven Hall. That one's slightly more memorable because you have the eyes just in the place, but I think this one is mostly because it looks kind of bland. I think this could do with like a graphical update a little bit. I mean, it's kind of cool, but it's not super memorable, especially over here in the Osu area. Not very cool. Whatever. So let's go to the next street. Alright, so I knew I had to put some form of Zephyria on this list. I just didn't know what street at first. I was like, you know, at least one of these streets has to be up here, because Zephyria, in my opinion, while I do enjoy Zephyria and a lot of people don't, I do like it more than most people. I can definitely see that there's some very, you know, forgettable places. So for me, it was between two of them. It was Waterfront and the Zamunda. Specifically, the Zamunda outskirts area is kind of... but I ultimately decided on Waterfront because there's only one single thing here that you remember, and that's Belloc, at least to me, which immediately makes this place hated beyond belief, because Belloc is awful. So for me, the fact when you think Waterfront, all you can remember is Belloc, to me that makes it forgettable, because I don't remember any of the other quests you do. I think you go into this Black Palace, but I don't remember anything about it. I think you might fight CC or something, Tick, one of them, which, I mean, it's all the same guy, but I think you fight one of them in here, and he cheats with like a shield cheat that you have to heal to remove the shield. Maybe? I don't know. But definitely this one, in my opinion, is the most forgettable street in Zephyria, without a doubt. I don't know what's here. Let's move on to the next street. So, similar to Zephyria, I knew that Azteca was going to be on this list, and also similar to Zephyria, I had trouble picking. There's a lot of areas I could have picked, to be honest. I could have picked Zoltan Dock, I could have picked Mangrove Marsh, but I ultimately decided on Cloudburst Forest because I actually don't remember what happens here. I don't remember what you do. I remember you fight this this rainbow flower monster over here named Yakshi. Is it Yakshi? Yakshay. I don't know. It's one of those, but you know, I think the rest of the quests are just... oh, you save Zenzen here, and I hate Zenzen. You know what? This street alone, I have a burning hatred for because you save Zenzen. So, you know what? It's fine on my most forgettable. Now, the reason why I wouldn't say some of the other ones are the most forgettable is because they're actually very memorable. I'd say the Floating Mountains, Twin Giants, Tierra de Brea, even Alto, Jabalba. I mean, I don't know if you count Jabalba as a street. Salt Meadow Swamp. All of those are very memorable streets, in my opinion. Despite the fact that I don't hate Azteca as much as most people do. Despite the fact that people hate Azteca, I don't think many would disagree with me when I say that those are pretty memorable streets. Especially the Floating Mountains has a very cool design, and honestly, it isn't even that bad of a street, in my opinion. Out of all the streets, I would rather do the Floating Mountains than any of the other ones. So, definitely, for me, those are... This street is the most forgettable. It could... Mostly due to process of elimination, but like I don't know if you guys remember what happens here, but I don't. Is this the one with the cactus? Do you have to save a cactus, or you have to do something with a cactus? I don't know. If you've never listened to the story at all, I feel like some of these observations are going to confuse you. I'm like, was there a cactus involved somewhere? Maybe. I don't know. So, you know, maybe there was a cactus involved. Whatever. I'm moving on to the next street. So I was a little bit torn up about whether I wanted to put Tyrion Gorge on this list or not, because I think it's memorable for one thing and one thing alone, and that is the fact that it is nigh impossible to navigate through here without getting dragged into battle. But I do think that genuinely this street is very forgettable. Like, compared to some of the other streets in this world, this street is just completely forgettable. Like, it's annoying, yes, but when I think Chrysalis, I think Sardonyx, I think The Hive, I think Radiance Reborn, Last Wood, even Moon Cliffs. I do not think Tyrion Gorge. Tyrion Gorge is bland, it's boring. I mean, look at it. It just looks disgustingly gray and purple, and it's just not very good in my opinion. Oh my god, my character's just closing his eyes. He's just taking a nap. Just taking a nap. All right. Let's move on to the next street, because the less said about Tyrion Gorge, the better. I don't think it's a very memorable street at all. This is a very nice close-up of the panda's ass, apparently. But here we are in Imperia. This is going to be the final forgettable area that I mentioned. But I had to include something of Imperia because to me this world in of itself is one of the more forgettable ones, but there's definitely a lot of places that I remember vividly. I remember that this entire island right here, from Arrow Plains to Nimbus Citadel, all of that, I remember that perfectly. That's the best. It's one of the better parts of this world in my opinion. For me, what I knew I had to do is I knew I had to pick outer Aethanor, sorry. Now it was I'm not gonna say, for me it's interesting, right? Because to me inner Aethanor is actually extremely memorable. The fire area, the lava, the flowing the flowing lava, you know, all the rooms, all that stuff is memorable. This area, I don't know what happens, which is funny because you do them at like the same time. They're part of the same quest line, but I don't remember the ice area and I do remember the fire area. And I don't know if that's my bias coming to head and I like fire and I dislike ice. I don't know. But to me, Outer Aethanor is not very memorable at all. You do some ice things. I don't really... There's these snow furies. I don't remember anything about it. I think there's a council of ice or something here that you talk to. I don't know. But I do remember the inner Aethanor, which is so weird. I don't know why it's like that, but it is. So you know what? That's going to be it for today's video. That's all the most forgettable areas in the game, in my opinion. I'd really like to know your opinions. I'd like to know, A, your opinions on what's the most forgettable areas in the game, and B, what your opinion on my opinion is. Because I think some people will disagree with me, in some cases. You know, I think that some of my opinions are probably the more popular ones. Some of them probably aren't, but that's all I'm really going to say for today. I need to get this video uploaded. Hopefully it'll be uploaded by about 6 o'clock. And then I can, you know, I can live more easier. I can't believe I completely forgot to record today. So, you know what? It happens. I'll see you in the next video. If you enjoyed, drop a like, hit the sub button. Adios.